'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the momraths outgrabe. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jub-jub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch.
Welcome to the first ever Poetry Out Loud competition at Hellgate High School. And there's no other Poetry Out Loud competition going on in town either. And one person will go to Helena after this meet. No, actually we can take two. I learned from the administrator this week. We can take two. So that's great, a nice trip overnight. And pretty exciting. It'll be in the Myrna Loy, and that'll be March 12th. We have three categories, and we decided to do an original poem category, although not too many stepped up to the mic for that. We have a lot of Poetry Out Loud category recitations, and then we have a freestyle section afterwards. We're really glad that all you took the challenge that your English teachers gave you, and that you went through the whole process and you memorized poems and you learned how to present them. And well, there you are, and so thank you. That's a lot of work, and you deserve applause, all of you. And I wish you luck, too. I have my good luck thing. I have my Valentine from my son. I've got right here, so I have my good luck, and I hope you guys have your lucky charms with you. But more important than that, you're prepared, which will really speak loudly for you. I want to introduce our judges. Down here, you probably can't see him, but he's our Poet Laureate of Montana, Greg Pape, right here. And he's our Poet Laureate for the next 2 years. And it's kind of a, well, not a well-paid job, is it? I think the legislature didn't even give Mr. Pape traveling money to go all across the state and spread poetry. But luckily, we're just down the street, so his budget for us isn't too tough. But thank you for being here. Another judge is Rachel Winnick. She teaches social studies, government here at Hellgate. Hey. And then we have a normal person here, a person off the street. No, she actually sells books at Shakespeare and Company, and that's Lauren Osberg. Okay. Another judge who's in a meeting right now, but she'll be coming in, is our principal, Jane Bennett. And so you'll have her down here too with you guys. Okay. Yay! Our principal loves poetry. That's a really good thing. Please tell others that couldn't come today that this will be broadcast by MCAT, and it's videotaped, and then it'll be aired as part of its Media Assistant Grants program to nonprofit organizations. And it'll be cablecast on Bresnan Channel 7 and 11. That MCAT, you probably know, serves about 20,000 households in the Missoula Valley. So if you're from out of the area, you have to get someone to tape it for you so you can bring it back to your school. I'm speaking right now to these 7th and 8th grade students who came all the way from Potomac to say poems in between when the judges are tallying things. So they also memorized poems from the same list that you guys did. So they deserve a warm welcome. Thank you. In some cases, they memorized more than one poem, too. If you would like more information about that grant program that I mentioned from MCAT, then you can call them at 542-MCAT, and any one of us can apply for one of those grants to tape nonprofit events. And it's very simple to do. I think I would just want to open with one poem about poetry readings, and it's by a favorite poet of mine, Wisława Szymborska, who's a Polish poet, and she likens a poetry reading to a boxing match. Poetry reading. To be a boxer, or not to be there at all. Oh, muse, where are our teeming crowds? 12 people in the room, 8 seats to spare. It's time to start this cultural affair. Half came inside because it started raining. The rest are relatives. Oh, muse. The women here would love to rant and rave, but that's for boxing. Here they must behave. Dante's Inferno is ringside nowadays, likewise his Paradise. Oh, muse. Oh, not to be a boxer, but a poet. One sentence to hard Shelleying for life. For lack of muscles forced to show the world the sonnet that may make the high school reading lists with luck. Oh, muse. Oh, bob-tailed angel, Pegasus. In the first row, a sweet old man's soft snore. He dreams his wife's alive again. What's more, she's making him that tart she used to bake. A flame, but carefully, don't burn his cake. We start to read. Oh, muse. So I just wanted to invoke the muse for you guys here today, and just to... And now to start with our recitation. So, Jeff, do you have the list? Okay. All right. And we're going to probably all say off the names, and then you guys will come up. And then if the Potomac kids would like to come up backstage here, then we'll start. I can announce them if you want.
Hi. Okay. Hi, my name's Julian Adler, obviously, and I shall be reciting If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor act too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can stand to hear the truths you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make a heap of all your winnings and risk it on one game of pitch and toss and lose and start at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve their turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foe nor loving friend can hurt you, and all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that is in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Okay, I'm Thomas, and I'm going to be reciting Kubla Khan by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alph the sacred river ran, through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. So twice 5 miles of fertile ground, with walls and towers were girdled round, and there were gardens bright with sinuous rills, which blossomed many an incense-bearing tree. And there were forests, ancient as the hills, enfolding sunny spots of greenery. But oh, that deep romantic chasm, which slanted down the green hill athwart a cedarn cover, a savage place, as holy and enchanted as e'er beneath the waning moon is haunted by woman wailing for her demon lover. And from this chasm was ceaseless turmoil seething, as if the earth in fast thick pants was breathing. A mighty fountain momentarily was forced, amid whose swift half-intermitted bursts huge fragments vaulted like rebounding hail, or chafy grain beneath the thresher's flail. And mid these dancing rocks at once and ever it flung up momentarily the sacred river. 5 miles meandering in a mazy motion through wood and dale the sacred river ran, and reached the caverns measureless to man, then sank in tumult to a lifeless ocean. And midst this tumult Kubla heard from afar ancestral voices prophesying war. The shadow of the dome of pleasure floated midway on the waves, where was heard the mingled measures from the fountain and the caves. It was a miracle of rare device, a sunny pleasure dome with caves of ice. A damsel with a dulcimer in a vision once I saw. It was an Abyssinian maid, and on her dulcimer she played, singing of Mount Abora. Could I revive within me her symphony and song? To such a deep delight 'twould win me with that music loud and long. I would build that dome in air, that sunny dome, those caves of ice, and all who heard should see them there, and all should cry, beware, beware. His flashing eyes, his floating hair, weave a circle round him thrice, and close your eyes in holy dread, for he on honeydew hath fed, and drunk the milk of paradise.
My name is Lacey Taylor, and I'm reciting Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a barn house near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
All right, my name is Nicole Reinhold, and I will be reciting The Windhover by Gerard Manley Hopkins. I caught this morning, morning's minion, kingdom of daylight's dauphin, dappled dawn-drawn falcon in his riding, of the rolling level underneath him, steady air and striding high there, how he rung upon the rein of a wimpling wing in his ecstasy, then off forth, on swing. As a skate's heel sweeps smooth on a bow bend, the hurl and gliding, rebuffed by a big wind, my heart in hiding stirred for a bird, the achieve of, the mastery of the thing. Brute beauty and valor and act, oh, air, pride, plume, here buckle, and the fire that breaks from thee then, a billion times told lovelier, more dangerous. Oh, my chevalier. No wonder of it. Sheer plod makes plough down Sicilian shine, and blue beak embers, oh, my dear, fall, gall themselves, and gash gold vermilion.
My name is Anika Preston, and I'm reciting A Fixed Idea by Amy Lowell. What torture lurks within a single thought when grown too constant? And however kind, however welcome still, the weary mind aches with its presence. Dull remembrance taught remembers on unceasingly. Unsought, the old delight is with us but to find that all recurring joy is pain refined. Become a habit, and we struggle, caught. You lie upon my heart as on a nest, folded in peace, for you shall never know how crushed I am with having you at rest, heavy upon my life. I love you so, you bind my freedom from its rightful quest. In mercy, lift your drooping wings and go.
All right, I'm Ike Wallace, and I will be reciting The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert Service. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night in the marge of Lake LaBarge I cremated Sam McGee. Now Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but that land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold through the parka's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes we closed and lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see, it wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me, and Cap, says he, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no, and he said with a sort of moan, it's that cursey cold, and it's got right hold till I'm choked clean through to the bone. Yet 'tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains. Now a pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore I would not fail. We started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched in the sleigh and raved all day of his home in Tennessee, and before nightfall a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, you may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains. Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, and my heart how I cursed that load. In the long, long night by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows, oh God, how I loathed the thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow, and on we went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in, and I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. Then I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so, and the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why, and the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked, then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, and looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar, and he wore a smile, you could see a mile, and he said, please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you're let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moor for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge I cremated Sam McGee.
My name is Jesse, and I'm reciting In a Dark Time by Theodore Roethke. In a dark time the eye begins to see. I meet my shadow in the deepening shade. I hear my echo in the echoing wood, a lord of nature weeping to a tree. I live between the heron and the wren, beasts of the hill and serpents of the den. What's madness but nobility of soul, at odds with circumstance? The day's on fire. I know the purity of pure despair, my shadow pinned against the sweating wall. That place among the rocks, is it a cave or a winding path? The edge is what I have. A steady storm of correspondences, a night flying with birds, a ragged moon, and in broad day, midnight come again. A man goes far to find out what he is, death of the self in a long tearless night, all natural shapes blazing unnatural light. Dark, dark my light, darker my desire. My soul, like some heat-maddened summer fly, keeps buzzing at the sill. Which eye is I? A fallen man, I climb out of my fear. The mind enters itself, and God the mind, and one is one, free in the tearing wind.
I'm Alice, and I'm reading Let Evening Come by Jane Kenyon. Let the light of late afternoon shine through chinks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down. Let the cricket take up chafing as a woman takes up her needles and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on the hoe, abandoned in long grass. Let the stars appear, and the moon disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come. To the bottle in the ditch, to the scoop in the oats, to air in the lung, let evening come. Let it come as it will, and don't be afraid. God does not leave us comfortless, so let evening come. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dakota Frank, and I'm reciting The Star by Ann Taylor. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. When the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines upon, then you show your little light, twinkle, twinkle all the night. Then the traveler in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. He could not see which way to go if you did not twinkle so. In the dark blue sky you keep, and often through my curtains peep, for you never shut your eye till the sun is in the sky. 'Tis your bright and tiny spark that lights the traveler in the dark, though I know not what you are, twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Hi, I'm Ziara Ask, and I will be reciting The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though, as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Hello again. I'm still Jessie. Fire and Ice by Robert Lee Frost. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice.
My name is Kayla Edwards, and I'm doing It Was Not Death, For I Stood Up by Emily Dickinson. It was not death, for I stood up, and all the dead lie down. It was not night, for all the bells put out their tongues for noon. It was not frost, for on my flesh I felt cirrhosis crawl, nor fire, for just my marble feet could keep a chancel cool. And yet it tasted like them all. The figures I have seen, set orderly for burial, reminded me of mine, as if my life were shaven and fitted to a frame, and could not breathe without a key. And 'twas like midnight, when all that ticked has stopped, and space stares all round, or grisly frosts, first autumn morns, repel the beating ground. But most like chaos, stopless, cool, without a chance or spar, or even a report of land to justify despair.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'm reciting The Listeners by Walter de la Mare. Is there anybody there? Said the traveler, knocking on the moonlit door, and his horse in the silence champed the grasses of the forest's ferny floor. And a bird flew up out of a turret above the traveler's head, and he smote upon the door again a second time. Is there anybody there? He said. But no one descended to the traveler, no head from the leaf-fern sill, leaned over and looked into his grey eyes, where he stood, perplexed and still. But only a host of phantom listeners that dwelt in the lone house then stood listening in the quiet of the moonlight to that voice from the world of men, stood thronging the faint moonbeams on the dark stair that goes down to the empty hall, hearkening in an air stirred and shaken by the lonely traveler's call. And he felt in his heart their strangeness, their stillness answering his cry, while his horse moved, cropping the dark turf, neath the starred and leafy sky. For he suddenly smote on the door, even louder, and lifted his head. Tell them I came, and no one answered, that I kept my word, he said. Never the least stir made the listeners, though every word he spake fell echoing through the shadowiness of the still house, from the one man left awake. Aye, they heard his foot upon the stirrup, and the sound of iron on stone, and how the silence surged softly backward when the plunging hoofs were gone.
Hi, my name's Beth Cooper-Chrisman, and I will be performing Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome-raths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand. Long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood awhile and thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, Callooh, Calais, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas Brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the momraths outgrabe.
Hi, my name is Monica, and I am reciting a poem called A Red, Red Rose by Robert Burns. Oh, my love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love is like the melody that sweetly played in tune. So fair art thou, my bonny lass, so deep in love am I. And I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry. Till all the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of life shall run. So fare thee well, my only love, and fare thee well a while, and I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 mile.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Kransky, and I'll be doing I Knew a Woman by Theodore Roethke. I knew a woman, lovely in her bones. When small birds sighed, she would sigh back at them. Ah, when she moved more ways than one. The shapes a bright container can contain. Of her choice virtues, only God should speak, or English poets who grew up on Greek. I'd have them sing in chorus, cheek to cheek. How well her wishes went. She stroked my chin. She taught me turn and counter-turn and stand. She taught me touch that undulant white skin. I nibbled meekly from her proffered hand. She was the sickle, poor I the rake, coming behind her for her pretty sake. But what prodigious mowing we did make. Love likes a gander and adores a goose. Her full lips pursed, her errant note to seize. She played it quick, she played it light and loose. My eyes, they dazzled at her flowing knees. Her many parts could keep a pure repose, or one hip quiver with a mobile nose. She moved in circles, and those circles moved. Let seed be grass, and grass turn into hay. I martyr to emotion not my own. What is freedom for? To know eternity. I swear she cast a shadow white as stone. But who would count eternity in days? These old bones live to learn her wanton ways. I measure time by how a body sways.
My name is Melody McDaniel, and I'm reciting Sonnet 18, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day by William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag you wanderst in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
I'm Liza Crockett, and I'm going to be reciting Keeping Things Whole by Mark Strand. In a field, I am the absence of field. This is always the case. Wherever I am what is missing. When I walk, I part the air, and always the air moves in to fill the space where my body's been. We all have reasons for moving. I move to keep things whole.
My name is Paul Roble, and I'm reciting Forgetfulness by Billy Collins. The name of the author is the first to go, followed obediently by the title, the plot, the heartbreaking conclusion, the entire novel, which suddenly becomes one you have never read, never even heard of. As if, one by one, the memories you used to harbor decided to retire to the southern hemisphere of the brain, to a little fishing village where there are no phones. Long ago, you kissed the names of the 9 muses goodbye and watched the quadratic equation pack its bags, even now as you memorize the order of the planets. Something else is slipping away, a state flower perhaps, the address of an uncle, the capital of Paraguay. Whatever it is you are struggling to remember, it is not poised on the tip of your tongue or even lurking in some obscure corner of your spleen. It has floated away down a dark mythological river whose name begins with an L, as far as you can recall. On your own way to oblivion, you will join those who have forgotten how to ride a bike and forgotten how to swim. No wonder you rise in the middle of the night to look up a famous battle in a book of war. No wonder the moon in the window seems to have drifted out of a love poem that you used to know by heart.
Full house. I'm Zach Appleter, and I will be reciting Thoughts in a Zoo by County Cullen. They in their cruel traps, and we in ours. Survey each other's rage and pass the hours, commiserating each the other's woe, to mitigate his own pain's fiery glow. Man could but little proffer in exchange, save that his cages have a larger range. That lion, with his lordly untamed heart, has in some man his human counterpart. Some lofty soul in dreams and visions wrapped, but in the stifling flesh, securely trapped. Gaunt eagle, whose raw pinions stay in the bars that prison you, so men cry for the stars. Some delve down, like the mole, far underground. Their nature is to burrow, not to bound. Some, like the snake, with changeless, slothful eye, stir not, but sleep and smolder where they lie. Who is most wretched, these caged ones, or we, caught in a vastness beyond our sight to see?
Hi, my name is Megan Lutz, and I am reciting To My Dear and Loving Husband by Anne Bradstreet. I dedicate this to my grandma. If ever two were one, then surely we. If ever man were loved by wife, then thee. If ever wife was happy in a man, compare with me, ye women, if you can. I prize thy love more than whole mines of gold, or all the riches that the east doth hold. My love is such that rivers cannot quench, nor aught but love from thee give recompense. My love is such I can no way repay, the heavens reward the manifold I pray. Then when we live in love, let's so persevere, then when we live no more, we may live ever.
Hello, my name is Megan Emery, and I'm reciting What Lips My Lips Have Kissed and Where and Why by Edna St. Vincent Millay. What lips my lips have kissed, and where and why, and what arms have lain under my head till morning, but the rain is full of ghosts tonight that tap and sigh upon the glass and listen for reply. And in my heart there stirs a quiet pain for unremembered lads that not again will turn to me at midnight with a cry. Thus in the winter stands the lonely tree, nor knows what birds have vanished one by one, yet knows its boughs more silent than before. I cannot say what loves have come and gone. I only know that summer sang in me a little while that in me sings no more.
Hi, my name is Hannah, and I'll be reciting Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that a wind blew out of a cloud by night, killing and chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea.
My name is Keith Graymorning, and I will be reciting A Red, Red Rose by Robert Burns. Oh, my love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love is like a melody that's sweetly played in tune. So fair art thou, my bonny lass, so deep in love am I, that I will love thee still, my dear, when all the sea's gone dry. Well, when all the sea's gone dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of time shall run. So fare thee well, my only love, and fare thee well a while. I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 mile.
My name is Maria McDougall, and I am presenting Bilingual by Rina S. Perriat. My father liked them separate, one there, one here, as if aware that words might cut into his daughter's heart, el corazón, and lock the alien part to what he was, his memory, his name, su nombre, with a key that he could not claim. English outside this door, but Spanish inside, he said. But who can divide the world, the word, mundo y palabra, from any child? I knew how to be dumb and stubborn, testaruda. Late in bed, I hoarded secret syllables that I read, and soon my tongue, mi lengua, learned to run where his stumbled. And still the heart was one. I like to think he knew that, even when proud, orgulloso, of his daughter's pen, he stood outside mis versos, half in fear of words that he loved, but wanted not to hear. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ariel Venture, and I will be reciting Self-Portrait by Robert Creeley. He wants to be a brutal old man, an aggressive old man, as dull, as brutal as the emptiness around him. He doesn't want compromise, nor to be ever nice to anyone, just mean and final in his brutal, his total rejection of it all. He tried the sweet, the gentle, the oh, let's hold hands together. And it was awful, dull, brutally inconsequential. So now he'll stand on his own dwindling legs, his arms, his skin shrink daily, and he loves, but hates equally.
My name is Amber Graymorning, and I will be performing Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud by night, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who are older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea.
I'm Joel Dallenberg, and I'll be reciting Chicago by Carl Sandburg. Hog butcher for the world, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads and the nation's freight handler, stormy, husky, brawling, city of the big shoulders, They tell me you are wicked, and I believe them, for I have seen your painted women under the gas lamps, luring the farm boys. And they tell me you are crooked, and I answer, yes, it is true. I have seen the gunman kill and go free to kill again. And they tell me you are brutal, and my reply is, on the faces of women and children, I have seen the marks of want and hunger. And having answered so, I turn back to those who sneer at this my city, and I give them back the sneer and say to them, come and show me another city with head lifted high, singing so proud to be alive and coarse and strong and cunning, flinging magnetic curses amid the toil of piling job on job. Here is a tall, bold slugger, set vivid against the little soft cities. Fierce as a dog with tongue lapping for action, cunning as a savage pitted against the wilderness, bareheaded, shoveling, wrecking, planning, building, breaking, rebuilding, under the smoke, dust all over his mouth, laughing with white teeth, under the terrible burden of destiny, laughing as a young man laughs, laughing even as an ignorant fighter laughs who has never lost a battle, bragging and laughing that under his wrist is the pulse and under his ribs the heart of the people, laughing, laughing the stormy, husky, brawling laughter of youth, proud to be hog butcher, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads, and freight handler to the nation.
My name's Stephen, and I will be reciting The Orange by Wendy Cope. At lunchtime, I bought a huge orange, and the size of it made us all laugh. I peeled it and shared it with Robert and Dave. They got quarters, and I had half. And that orange, it made me so happy, as ordinary things often do. Just lately, the shopping, a walk in the park, this is peace and contentment, it's new. And the rest of my day was quite easy. I did all my jobs on my list, enjoyed them, and had some time over. I love you. I'm glad I exist.
Let's give a hand to the 7th and 8th graders here where we have a little moment. Yeah. Come on, you guys. We might give them a chance to go ahead and come back into the audience and sit down too. Might be kind of cramped back there. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and I will be reciting Dream Song 14 by John Berryman. Life, friends, is boring. We must not say so. After all, the sky flashes, the great sea yearns, we ourselves flash and yearn. And moreover, my mother told me as a boy, ever to confess you're bored means you have no inner resources. I conclude now, I have no inner resources, because I am heavy bored. Peoples bore me, literature bores me, especially great literature. Henry bores me with his plights and gripes as bad as Achilles, who loves people and valiant art, which bores me. And the tranquil hills in gin look like a drag. And somehow a dog has taken itself and its tail considerably away into mountains or sea or sky, leaving behind me, Wag.
Hi, I'm Karen Kilgore, and I'll be reciting Keeping Things Whole by Mark Strand. In a field, I'm the absence of field. This is always the case. Wherever I am what is missing. When I walk, I part the air, and always the air moves in to fill the spaces where my body's been. We all have reasons for moving. I move to keep things whole.
Hello, I'm Keegan Rabel, and I'll be reciting Kubla Khan. I'd like to dedicate this to my mom and sister. In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf, the sacred river, ran to caverns measureless to man, down to a lifeless sea. So twice 5 miles of fertile ground, with walls and towers girdled round, and here were gardens bright with sinuous rills, where many an incense-bearing tree and here were forests ancient as the hills, enfolding sunny spots of greenery. But oh, that deep romantic chasm that slanted down the green hill athwart a cedarn cover, a savage place, as holy and enchanted as ere beneath a waning moon was haunted by a woman wailing for her demon lover. And from this chasm, with ceaseless turmoil seething, as if the earth in fast, thick pants were breathing, a mighty fountain was momently forced, amid whose swift half-intermittent burst, huge fragments vaulted like rebounding hail, or chaffy grain beneath a thresher's flail. And amid these dancing rocks, as once and ever, it flung up momently the sacred river. 5 miles meandering in a mazy motion, it ran through dale and wood, the sacred river ran, until it reached the caverns measureless to man, and sank in tumult into a lifeless ocean. And mid this tumult Kubla heard from far ancestral voices prophesying war. And the shadow of the dome of pleasure floated midway on the waves, where was heard the mingled measure from the fountain and the caves. It was a miracle of rare device, a sunny pleasure dome with caves of ice. A damsel with a dulcimer in a vision once I saw. It was an Abyssian maid, and on her dulcimer she played, singing of Mount Abora. Could I revive within me her symphony and song? Oh, what deep delight would win me, that music loud and long. I would build that dome in air, that sunny dome, those caves of ice, and all who heard would see them there, and all should cry, beware, beware. His flashing eyes, his floating hair, weave a circle round him thrice, and close your eyes with holy dread, for he on honeydew hath fed, and drunk the milk of paradise.
While the judges are tallying those, I just wanted to really thank the parents and grandparents that are here today, and it's really great to see you here. Thanks for coming. And a special thanks to some adults that just jumped in and helped everything come together, and that's Jeff Badnock, who is our registrar, and Lisa Waller, who helped a lot. Thank you, with photographs. And also Aaron Barnes, who picked up a lot of pieces and really helped get everything ready for today. So thank you, Aaron. Okay, Grace.
My name's Grace Barrett, and I'll be doing a poem called Why I Am Not a Painter, and it's by Frank O'Hara. I am not a painter. I am a poet. Why? I think that I would rather be a painter, but I am not. Well, for instance, Mike Goldberg is starting a painting. I drop in. Sit down and have a drink, he says. I drink. We drink. I look up. It says sardines. Yes, it needed something there. Oh, I go, and the days go by, and I drop in again. The painting is being done. And the days go by, I drop in. The painting is finished. Where's sardines? All that's left is just letters. It was too much, Mike says. But me, one day I'm thinking of a color, orange. I write a line about orange. Pretty soon it's a whole page of words, not lines. There should be so much more, not of orange, not of words, of orange, of how terrible orange is, and life. And the days go by. It is even in prose. I am a real poet. My poem is finished and I haven't even mentioned orange yet. It's 12 poems. I call it Oranges. And one day, in a gallery, I see Mike's painting, called Sardines.
Hi, my name is Laura Fontanella, and I'll be reciting Life by Edith Wharton. Life, like a marble block, is given to all, a blank, inchoate mass of years and days, whence one with ardent chisel swift essays some shapes of strength or symmetry to call, one shatters it in bits to mend a wall, one in a craftier hand the chisel lays, and one, to wake the mirth in Lesbia's gaze, carves it apace in toys fantastical. But least is he who, with enchanted eyes, filled with high visions of fair shapes to be, muses which God shall immortalize in the proud Parian's perpetuity, till twilight warns him from the punctual skies that the night cometh where none shall see.
Next we have some freestylers, and so we need your help from the audience too. And I think there's a whiteboard. Does someone have the whiteboard? Over there. Okay, I'll get the whiteboard, and what I'll do is we'll have someone come up. First one is Ariel LaVenture, and she'll ask for some input, and then you can shout out any topics that you like. And we'll take 3, and then she has to improvise. So. Take the mic off if you want. Okay, so any topics for Ariel? There we go. We got 3. Potatoes, cellulite, Discovery Channel. Okay, just got a couple seconds here to think that. Okay, and I'll just hold this here in case you cue.
How y'all doing tonight? All right.
I like my potatoes, I like them different styles. Mashed, boiled, whatever's on your vial. Cellulite will come if you eat too many, but come on baby, just give me plenty. The Discovery Channel I like to watch when I eat my mashed potatoes. Come on, don't stop. You can eat French fries, you can eat the mash. Like I said, baby, let's go bash. Cellulite, it's kind of an issue. If you're a supermodel, then it's a big deal. Discovery Channel, like I said, I watch it when I'm bored in bed. Then I eat my potatoes sometimes raw. No, wait, no I don't. Not.
Okay, and we have Trennan Bayless.
Hey.
This week we have milk, canker sores, and frogs. Not necessarily in that order.
Canker sores.
Canker sores.
Okay. Think about this. A noise comes from the pond. You look. Your hand trembles, not another one. Every year they're back. Every springtime, frogs, swarming, cover the house. There's no way out. So you bar the doors every year. Stock up on supplies. Milk, bandages in case you get canker sores. Everything you need. There's a crack at the window. One of the frogs has busted through. You quickly quarantine the room, covering all the doors with duct tape. You know they'll be gone in 2 weeks, but until then it's a long wait. In front of the TV, wasting time till the frogs go. After 3 days you run out of milk. You shouldn't have drunk so much. After 4 days, your first canker sore. Pull out the bandages from the bathroom. Bandaging your arm. Another shattered window. The frogs are bursting through. Quickly, you run into the next room. Slam the door. Duct tape the edges. You're good. Look around the house. No frogs. 2 weeks later, you're out of the house again. Frogs are gone. And you got to make a run to Costco to get 12 gallons of milk for the next weekend, because you are out.
Great. Last but not least.
The title's going to be Sons of Zeus, so give me a second. I'll tell you.
S-U-N or S-O-N?
Oh, S-O-N, son. So I have a title for mine. The words you'll kind of help me with, but it's called Son of Zeus. So, yeah. So if you just give me some words that kind of go along with that, what you think, and we'll make a poem out of it.
Good suggestions. For some reason, these stuck. Steroids, babies, neon lights.
So, Zeus had many sons. Many of you all know about. One was Hercules. Yeah, well, he kind of sucked, actually. You know, all that strength that he had really wasn't pure muscle. Well, he was Brian McAmee's, best friend. Steroids? Yeah, you better believe it. He did steroids so much, you know what? I might as well just call them roids. But it's okay. He was never able to have babies. Well, it's because of steroids. But that's besides the fact. Because Zeus, he's a good father, you know? Took care of all his kids. You know, how many people would like to have a god as his dad? Could you imagine that? Everything you did under the biggest microscope, everything you ever tried, you know, it's got to be godly. Because if it's not, well, you failed your father. So, I heard a lot of his sons just kind of left. You know, left home, went on, walked down. You know, I heard a couple of them ended up in New York. Why New York? Well, they had bright lights, neon lights to be exact. No one knows quite sure why they went to New York, but people say they act like raccoons, you know, shiny things. Kind of attracts people. Yeah, well, they're kind of like raccoons. Obviously, Zeus wasn't happy with them because they failed him. They went to New York because of shiny lights. I mean, Zeus wouldn't like that. I mean, what did Zeus do? Well, he played with lightning bolts all the time, so I guess it runs in the family. I guess they want me to be done. No. So there's a little quote that I heard a couple days ago. It's about steroids. It's called "Roids Not Even Once." And that's not because you won't become good at sports, because you will. But it's because you cheated. And cheating's not cool. So don't cheat.
Thank you, everybody that participated. Let's give a round to the judges. They had a tough job. I hope you guys keep track of these folks that recited. They're really talented. And I hope you guys, if you didn't come forward this year, to do it next year. So thanks a lot.